How are you, ladies and gentlemen? You know what day it is. It is Wednesday, and of course, every Wednesday, we do Bulls Hot Takes, where I feature your hot takes from the week and my reaction to them. So if you're new to the channel, feel free to leave your takes below. And guys, it's been a while since I've done a double upload of hot takes, but I might just have to do so this week. So leave your takes below and I might include it later this afternoon. Also, I have been saying it for a while now, but I am announcing my giveaway in advance of the channel reaching 10,000 subscribers, but I'm only announcing a portion of it right now because there are actually going to be 5 separate giveaways. Yes, 5 giveaways to thank all of you guys, the viewers, and my appreciation for you in getting the channel to 10,000 subscribers. And what I'll be doing is giving away a gift card, likely to NBAstore.com or Bulls.com, a jersey giveaway, a signed piece of memorabilia from Scottie Pippen, the 2021 NBA 75th Anniversary Edition Bulls hat, and then finally the last giveaway, the best one of them all, tickets to one of the Bulls games at the United Center for this upcoming season on me, tickets for 2 people. Now, how will I be selecting the winner of each of these? Well, you'll have to stay tuned as I'll be doing it in separate announcements for each giveaway in the order that I just mentioned them. And rather than just doing a random generator to select a subscriber as I've done in the past, I wanted to reward those who are active on the channel with their comments. So each giveaway will be announced and will require a response in the comments to, say, a trivia question, a first commenter on a video, or a prediction of some kind, such as the prediction to one of the Olympic game matches. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and have the bell notifications on so you don't miss a video for when each of the giveaways will be happening. I'll be doing the 5 giveaways all the way up to 10,000 subscribers, where I'll do the final giveaway for the Bulls tickets for 2 to a game this season. But anyway, now that we got that out of the way, let's get into today's hot take. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Bull Central here. Hope you're all doing well. Let's get us kicked off with our first hot take, which comes to us from Jay Warrior. Bulls trade Coby White, Tomas Satoransky, and Al-Farouq Aminu, 2 first-round picks for Kemba Walker. Yeah, no, as much as I would love to get out of Aminu's contract and get that off the books for this upcoming season, the thought of bringing in Kemba Walker at his age with his injury history clearly on the decline and that massive contract, no, not worth it. Also, I'm not sure if you were saying that the Bulls would also send the 2 firsts for Kemba, or if the Bulls would get 2 firsts from the Thunder as a part of the deal. If the Bulls are also sending 2 first-round picks, which they don't really have, by the way, but forget about it if that actually ends up being the case in this trade scenario that you're proposing. If it's 2 first-round picks coming to the Bulls with Kemba Walker, maybe, especially since the Thunder have a lot of draft capital, they could make that actually work. But no, I still don't want Kemba Walker, and you're giving up Coby White to go along with it. It just doesn't make a lot of sense for the Bulls. Next up, we've got Adam Bertoli. Bulls trade Lavine for the #1 pick with the agreement that he re-signs with the Bulls once he is an unrestricted free agent. So when I first read this, I couldn't quite figure out what you were getting at, but essentially what you're saying is the Bulls trade Lavine to the Pistons for the #1 pick, which presumably they would get Cade Cunningham, and there would be a back-end agreement that he would then sign with the Bulls after his 1-year rental deal with the Pistons expires, and now the Bulls would have Lavine and Cade Cunningham to start the season in 22-23. Well, first of all, that's actually not allowed. I mean, I know that under the table agreements happen in the NBA, but there can also be serious repercussions for it. But more importantly, Lavine would never agree to this, because if they did this and they approached it with this way, you're suggesting, first of all, that would say, screw you guys for trading me to the freaking Pistons so you can get the #1 pick. That's going to cause a rift in his relationship with the Bulls. Second, Lavine would essentially be agreeing to less money, since now the Bulls traded him. He would not be able to secure the 5-year max that the Bulls would otherwise be able to offer him as one of their own free agents. Rather, the Pistons would now have the ability to offer him the most money as a means to retain their free agent, and the Bulls could only offer him a 4-year max deal. So in short, no way this would happen. 1, because it can't, and 2, because Lavine would never agree to this, and if it was even suggested to him, it likely would damage his relationship with the team, and he would probably just bounce in free agency for nothing next offseason to just really stick it to the team. Next, we've got Master Waturi. Trading for Ben Simmons will be a mistake. Don't get stuck in the sexy name. He is damaged goods and can't make a foul shot. I love defense, but Simmons is not the guy for us. For me, I still maintain that Ben Simmons would be a great fit for the Bulls as long as you don't have to give up Lavine. I don't think it's about having a sexy name. The guy is still a great basketball player, and in a different environment where he is surrounded by shooters in a team that has great offensive firepower but lacks the necessary skills on defense, his role would be completely different. than what it is right now in the Sixers. Right now, to being a defensive stopper and playmaker who can also provide moderate scoring in the paint with the Bulls, rather than how he's currently being utilized in Philadelphia. Now, I don't think Simmons is ever going to be a shooter, and I mean ever. I know there are some people out there who firmly believe that someday some team will unlock his ability to shoot and just be that perfect all-around player that can do everything. I personally think that ship has sailed with Simmons, but what I do think will be unlocked is his free throw shooting. Not saying he will all of a sudden be a 90+% free throw shooter, but respectable enough, around 70 to 75%. Still not great, but not bad enough to the point where he is now a liability at the end of games when teams just start hacking him to get quick possession. So I don't think he's damaged goods. He's only 24 years old. I don't think trading for him would be a mistake as long as you're not giving up too much for him and giving the fact that his value is really low right now. If a trade includes Lavine, Vucevic, and even Patrick Williams, I say it's a pass and not worth the risk of bringing on Simmons and his massive contract for a guy who just can't shoot. Next up, we've got Michael Johnson. I actually thought that said Michael Jordan at first. The Bulls don't make any big splash signings and pick up Bradley Beal next offseason to pair with Vucevic and Lavine. Love your videos, appreciate the work, man. Keep it up. Well, first of all, thank you very much for the kind words and the support on the channel. As for your take, I mean, it would be pretty bad if the Bulls didn't make any moves this offseason. Now, you said that they don't make any big splash, which I assume means they don't sign any big names to the team, which, I mean, that is possible if the Bulls strike out on free agency, but it would be a pretty big disappointment if that was the case, because this Bulls team, as they are constructed, isn't enough to make a deep run into the playoffs or turning them into a title contender by any means. The roster clearly does need to be improved, but let's go with your take and say that the Bulls strike out this offseason on all the major names, but then sign Bradley Beal next offseason. I guess my first question is, how are they going to be able to afford him and Zach? Beal, at least if he continues the level of play that we saw last season, will certainly want a max contract, as will Lavine, and of course the Bulls will also owe Vucevic $22 million for the final year of his contract. So that's the first thing. The other issue I see is with the fit between Lavine and Beal. I mean, you're talking about two very similar players who play the same position, who are both ball-dominant guards. I know that they're good friends, but I can see there being a really big challenges with this in terms of their chemistry on the court. I know they both can play the three, and Lavine can even play point, but both of these guys are at their best when they're playing shooting guard. So as much as I like Bradley Beal, and obviously a third star on this team would be incredible, I'm just not sure that this would happen or that it would work out. Next up, we've got Tim Green. Bulls trade Thaddeus and a second for Kuzma. No thanks. I mean, I'm sure the Lakers would love this trade because they get a versatile veteran on an expiring contract in Thaddeus Young. And obviously the Lakers are still going to be, in win now mode with LeBron and Anthony Davis. So getting a more productive big man in Thaddeus would be beneficial for them. Not only that, but they would also be getting a second round pick in the deal. And the Bulls, although would get a younger Kuzma, I really think Kuzma has already hit a ceiling. And maybe he just needs a new environment to get the best out of him. But even then, I don't really see him getting all that better. And for the Bulls, I would much prefer to just keep Thaddeus on the final year of his deal, or if we are going to in fact trade him, we should be able to get more in return than someone like Kuzma, especially if we're also including a pick in the deal. Next up, we've got Antoine Guerrero. If Patrick Williams had Jimmy Butler's mindset, he could be LeBron James-like. Well, first of all, I don't think Patrick's mindset isn't in the right place. He is a little timid, and obviously, we would love to see him be more aggressive, but he was a rookie, a 19-year-old rookie, and I think that will come with time. His development and that mindset will change. If you remember, Jimmy Butler took a little bit to really start breaking out as a star in this league and was also timid and when he first started in the NBA. There was actually a period where Tom Thibodeau was putting him in the starting lineup, and Jimmy made it clear to the press that he actually preferred to come off the bench. So the mindset that we see from Jimmy Butler today wasn't always there until he really started breaking out and getting comfortable on the floor. Also, I do love Jimmy, and of course, I love that he's an ultimate competitor and a dog on the court on both ends of the floor, but sometimes his mindset gets the best of him with his ego, and why it's clashes with a lot of his teammates and coaches over the years. So my hope is that Patrick Williams doesn't become that type of player down the road. And as for the last part of your take, that he could be LeBron James-like, I mean, I know a lot of Bulls fans don't like LeBron, but I personally think he's one of the greatest players to ever play the game. He's not the greatest of all time. That title still belongs to Michael Jordan, but he's literally a top 5 player of all time. And so to say Patrick Williams can be on that level just after one season, if he changes his mindset, is very premature and I think is a little short-sighted. Sticking with Patrick Williams, next up we've got Antonio Strait. Patrick Williams is the most athletic player in the NBA right now, from like a month ago, but still true. No. I mean, again, I like Patrick Williams, but he's not the most athletic player in the league. I would say he's not even the most athletic player on the Bulls, as that goes to Zach LaVine. Not saying that Williams can eventually become that type of player, but as it stands right now, he's not even close to being the most athletic player in the NBA. Let's do one more from the most recent news on Marko Simonovic. This one comes from Jake from State Farm. Marko Simonovic will start off slow. Bulls fans will call him a bust. Then he becomes a solid player later on. Yeah, I can totally see this. I mean, Bulls fans in general, even myself sometimes, we all have very high expectations of players. And when they don't meet those expectations, we get impatient and start putting labels on said players way too early in their careers. I mean, for Simonovic, the fact that he was the 44th pick really eliminates the possibility of him even being a bust, because most second round picks, especially later second round picks, end up not really amounting to a lot in the NBA. And some even end up not even making an NBA team at all. So the guy can't really be a bust when his expectations really should be low, which is why I said in my video yesterday, we need to manage expectations of Simonovic and not expect him to be the Lauri Markkanen type replacement a lot of people are claiming, or that he's somehow going to be a star in this league. I think that's very, very unlikely. You know what? Let's actually do one more. This one comes to us from the Avalon. Bulls trade Dejounte Murray and Spurs first round pick for Lauri and Sato. So I made a video yesterday about this topic on all the rumors surrounding Dejounte Murray and the Bulls, and in that video I talked about all the reasons for why the Spurs are not going to trade Murray. So I'll refrain from explaining it here again further, but in short, Murray and a first round pick for Lauri and Sato. Why would the Spurs ever go for that? You're talking about an up-and-coming player who is on a cheap contract and a first-round pick, which is very valuable in the NBA, for Lauri Markkanen, a guy who is going to be a free agent anyway, and Satoransky, who is on a partial guarantee and expiring contract. There's just no way the Spurs would ever agree to this, and if they did, there is something seriously wrong with their front office, or Arturis just put some kind of spell on them to convince them this was somehow a good deal. Anyway, guys, I'll end it there for now. Like I said, I'll probably get another video out later this afternoon for some more hot takes after I finish up some of my real day job, as there were a lot more takes that came in this week. But be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the upcoming giveaway announcements that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.